Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, I'm working on the new profile legal aid project since December 2003, assisting young Israelis who choose to resist the compulsory conscription to the army. So, New Profile defines itself, as a movement that aims for the civilization of the Israeli society, which is a sort of a funny term, but because New Profile finds it very deeply militarized and consequently non-egalitarian, chauvinist and paranoia-ridden, causing us Israelis to go from war, to yet another war. Anyhow, New Profile works with resistors to conscription. This is a very early age of young people, because we have other organization, and especially Yesh Gvul, you saw the people on the film, you know, people in their 30s and 40s who still go to the reservists and to the reserves, and Yesh Gvul deals with them. But New Profile deals with the younger people who are just on the verge of joining the army by compulsion, they must go to the army. Okay, in short, we deal with the ones who are aged 18 and 19. No, it's just to say that in Israel, when somebody comes to the age of 18, they must go to the army. And then when they finish that, up to the age of 45, they must go to the reserve army, to come about a month, a year, to practice and be still able to fight till the age of 45. So we deal with the young. So we said that at the age of 18, every boy and girl needs to go to the army. A boy for 3 years and the girl for 2. And the conscription process begins even at an earlier age of around 16 and a half, where you are called for physical and mental examinations to see who you are, what your abilities are. Can you be good for going to the pilot, being a pilot, or something else? So this begins at rather an early age of your teens, this getting ready for the army. Now, the Israeli law does not recognize conscientious objection, and there is no exemption from the army through conscientious objection. There's only a leeway. There's only the Minister of Defense has the ability to decide from time to time if he acknowledges some people via special committees. Now, these committees for conscientious objectors are known as the conscience committees. But these are military committees. These are not civilian committees. So what happens when a young man or woman objects to serving in the military? Okay, so on the whole, a person can be exempted from the military service on religious grounds, if you're very religious, on medical grounds, including a psychiatric clause, and seldomly, as we spoke about before, on grounds of conscience. Every 18-year-old is supposed to go to the army, so there's a certain number of 18-year-olds that are supposed to go every year, but because of certain parts of society, 20% are religious, or orthodox religious, and they don't go. Another 20% are Muslim Arabs that are not required to join the army. So that's already 40% out. And then we find that there are more percentages of people that do not join the army because of medical reasons, because of all kinds of reasons. So we have less than 50% actually joining, and then the rate drops even further because some people don't finish their army term. And this is, it should be said because there is this legend that everybody goes to the army, everybody is called to the army, but it's not exactly so. As I said before, Israel is an occupying state. First of all, but let's go one step before that. In 1948, Israel's state was born, and but then this was as a consequence of this, the Nakba for the Palestinians happened. Israel drew away drew to people, forgetting my English, sort of
okay.
drove people away. 700,000 Palestinians were driven away, and later on, between 48 and 51, about 500 villages were demolished. These are the refugees that went to the Gaza Strip, that went to the West Bank, and that went to Jordan, to Syria, and to Lebanon. So there was already a very big, I don't know if the word problem is appropriate, but already in the formation of the Israeli state happened a very big catastrophe for the Palestinians. Yeah, and then came the 67 war, with the occupation of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip and the Golan Heights. And then from then on we have the problem of the occupation. And the implications, of course, are also settlements in those territories, expansion of land theft. Now we have the wall. This is the context of the refusal. And I think mostly it's connected to the occupation, because if you go back to 48, then the Israeli citizens are very fearful that this means being driven out of their own state, of being questioned for their actual existence. But there's the enormous problem of the occupation. So we have this, what I am talking about tonight is the resistance to the occupation. Many of the young people that you've seen tonight bear in mind, especially the younger ones, bear in mind also what happened in 48. But it's hard enough and it's heavy enough even to address the occupation since 67. I just wanted to put it in context that these people are resisting to the occupation. So, the state of Israel does not see itself as an occupying state. It sees itself as coming back to its old land, old biblical land, or it sees itself as keeping those territories for future peace talks.